configuration settings made at the RMS level are transferred, or pushed down, to the gateways, which are the sites in RMS. Settings made at the RMS level cannot be changed at the site level. RMS settings are made through the RMS configuration menu, accessed from the main menu on the Sites page. The local Sites configuration menu also can be accessed when a site page is open in RMS. Settings configured through RMS cannot be updated at the local level. Also, certain local site settings cannot be modified at the RMS level. Click Configuration from the Sites page to access the RMS. The RMS configuration module has three options: Global, Identity, Permissions. These options configure many of the same settings that are available for a local gateway not connected to an RMS system. There are also some options that are unique to RMS. Each option is discussed later in this video. Two types of settings are configured through RMS. Unconditional settings can only be applied, or transferred, to all sites. There is no option to apply unconditional settings to one site, but not another. Conditional settings can be transferred to selected sites. Some settings do not need to be applied to all sites. When a gateway is first connected to RMS, its conditional settings are uploaded to RMS. These settings then become available for other gateways. A good practice when implementing an RMS deployment is to first set up a local gateway, then enable RMS. The gateway's conditional settings are uploaded to RMS, and later can be transferred to other gateways if desired. When a gateway is first registered with RMS, the impact on the settings depends on the type of setting. Unconditional, all RMS-based settings are transferred to the gateway. Conditional, RMS imports the settings from the gateway. These settings are added to the item lists under the configuration menu options at the RMS level. Users, if a gateway and RMS both have records with the same user ID, the RMS record overwrites the record on the local gateway. Cardholders, if a gateway and RMS both have records with the same cardholder ID, the RMS record overwrites the record on the local gateway. After a gateway's initial registration with RMS, the RMS-controlled settings can no longer be edited at the site level. Before some settings can be transferred to the gateways, certain dependencies must be met. An initial setting must be configured and transferred before the dependent setting can be configured and transferred. If the initial settings are not configured first and transferred, then dependent settings cannot be transferred to the sites after their configuration. This table shows the configuration menu option, the setting to be configured first, and the setting dependent on that initial setting. This table is also included in the Rms chapter of the NLSS Unified Security Suite User Manual. After a setting has been added, configured and saved in RMS, it must be transferred to the gateways to be applied. If the setting is dependent on another setting, be sure that any initial settings already have been transferred. When the transfer button is clicked in a parameters details pane, the RMS transfer queue is displayed. For unconditional settings, all sites in this RMS installation are selected. Clicking Send transfers the setting to those sites. For conditional settings, a list of available sites is listed. Use the arrow keys to add sites and remove sites from the selected sites list. Click Send to transfer the setting only to the selected sites. The RMS queue also lists the transfer status of the setting for RMS monitors transfers, and indicates the status in the table in the top pane of each configuration screen, as well as in the RMS transfer queue dialog. The settings are as follows. Unassigned. The setting has been saved in RMS, but has not been transferred. Transferred. The record was successfully transferred. Processing. The transfer still processing for a site, and there are no errors. Error. RMS was able to reach the sites, but was unable to successfully transfer the setting to at least one site. Stopped. The setting is being transferred to sites, but was updated in RMS since the transfer started and is now out of sync. Out of sync. The setting was successfully transferred to the sites, but the configuration has been updated in RMS and needs to be transferred again. A colored indicator accompanies each status in the RMS transfer dialog. Unassigned, white. Transferred, green. Processing, yellow. Error, red. Stopped, red. Out of sync, orange. Click refresh to update the status in the list. To begin using the configuration module, select Global. The Rms Global Options are similar to the global options available at the local level, and are transferred to the gateways managed by Rms. These options cannot be changed at the local level. Note that gateway, groomer, actions, and event linkages settings are not available at the Rms level, and must be set at the site level. These can be set by accessing the gateway directly, or through the site's page in the RMS interface. This video does not discuss specific configuration procedures that use the same steps as used on a local gateway that is not part of RMS. See the respective video or the NLSS Security Suite user manual for detailed instructions on these steps and the fields in each screen. First, select Customer. The customer details contains the same fields as customer details at the site level. Customer details are unconditional when transferred to the gateways, meaning each gateway gets the same settings. These fields are not editable at the site level when a gateway is managed by RMS. Next, select Sites. When sites are discovered by RMS, they are listed in the table at the top of the site's configuration screen. The Sites table lists the name of the site, the location of the gateway, the device model, which is the type of NLSS gateway, the currently installed firmware version, the status of the connection between RMS and the gateway, and if the site details settings have been transferred to that gateway. Sites cannot be added manually. Sites are discovered by RMS when the Remote Management Services token is entered in the RMS configuration screen global module for a gateway. Select a site to view its site detail. The Site Details pane contains 4 tabs. The General tab contains the same fields that are available at the local gateway level. Once a gateway is connected to RMS, these settings can only be edited from the screen at the RMS level. The 3 remaining tabs are only available at the RMS level. Select the Backups tab. Site configuration settings are backed up nightly by RMS. Should a gateway have a problem or be replaced, the configuration settings can be reapplied easily from RMS. Select an available backup from the Configuration Backups drop-down list. After a backup is selected, click Download. The configuration settings are applied to the selected gateway. Next, select the Update tab. The Updates tab allows Remote Check Update to be run. This feature runs the check update function for the selected gateway from the RMS level. This remote update is the same as running check update at the local level. The device name listed is set at the local level. The device type is the model of the NLSS gateway. If the firmware version and the available update version fields are not the same, click Check Update. Note that the connection status must be listed as connected to run a remote update. Follow the prompts to update the selected gateway. If a more recent version of the gateway's firmware is found, the firmware is updated. A message is displayed indicating the update is in progress. The selected gateway automatically reboots when the update is complete. After the update is complete, the update status message disappears when the tab is revisited. After updating a gateway's, clear the browser cache to see new features in the NLSS web interface for the gateway. Next, open the Bulk Transfer tab. The Bulk Transfer tab simplifies the process of updating settings for a gateway. Instead of running a transfer for each setting, Bulk Transfer allows a group of settings to be pushed simultaneously to the selected gateway. Check the boxes corresponding to the desired settings, or click Select All to choose all of the settings. Click Bulk Transfer to start the update. A message is displayed indicating the bulk transfer is in progress. After the transfer is complete, the message disappears when the tab is revisited. While a bulk transfer is in progress for a site, another bulk transfer cannot be configured and run for that site. However, while a bulk transfer is running on one site, The process also can be run simultaneously on other sites. If a site is offline, the bulk transfer executes as soon as the site comes back online. The next setting is Holidays. Select Holidays from the global menu. Holidays are added and deleted, edited, and searched using the same steps as used at the local gateway level. Holidays are a conditional setting, meaning each holiday can be transferred to all sites simultaneously, or to selected sites. After a holiday is created or edited, select it from the Holidays table in the top pane. Holiday settings must be transferred before schedule settings can be transferred. Click Transfer to open the RMS transfer queue to select the sites to receive the selected holiday. Note that holidays are a conditional setting. Use the double arrows to move all sites between the available and selected sites lists. Use the single arrow buttons to select individual sites to which the holiday will be transferred. Click Send to transfer the holiday setting to the selected sites. After holidays have been transferred, schedules can be configured and transferred. Select Schedules from the menu. Schedules are added and deleted, edited, and searched at the RMS level using the same steps as used at the local gateway level. Like holidays, schedules are conditional settings that can be transferred to all sites, or only to selected sites. It is important to note the schedules are dependent on holidays. The holiday settings must be transferred to a site before the schedules for that site are transferred. Optionally, event types can be modified, if needed. Click Event Types. The NLSS Unified Security Suite comes with predefined event types that can be edited at the RMS level. Event types are edited and searched using the same steps as used at the local gateway level. Event types cannot be added or deleted at either level. RMS manages event types, which are transferred to provide consistency across all sites. Event type settings are unconditional, meaning that changes are transferred to all RMS sites, and cannot be applied only to selected sites. Next, click Event Severity. Event Severity allows names to be assigned to event levels. Only the event severity description can be edited. The table also can be searched. The same steps are used as at the local gateway level. Event severity settings cannot be added or deleted at either level. RMS manages event severity settings, which are transferred to provide consistency across all sites. Event severity settings are unconditional, meaning that changes are transferred to all RMS sites, and cannot be applied only to selected sites. Event severity settings are dependent on event types. Therefore, event types must be transferred before event severity settings can be transferred. Next, we will move on to RMS identity configuration settings. The identity settings provide control of identity information and credentials for users and cardholders of each site. The menu options are the same as available on the local gateway level. Each of these options also has the same fields and functions as available on the local gateway level. Add, edit, delete, and search functions are available for each option. The identity settings are transferred to the local gateways from RMS, and cannot be edited at the local gateway level. Begin with access levels. Access levels associate a door with a schedule for a site. The RMS Access Level Details pane has an added sites field. Access level settings are unconditional, but are only transferred to the applicable sites. Doors are the only physical device that is uploaded from a gateway to RMS. A door cannot be configured at the RMS level, but it can have an access level applied to it from RMS. When transferring access level settings, consider the following dependencies. Schedule settings must be transferred before access level settings are configured and transferred. Access level settings must be transferred before cardholder access level settings are configured and transferred. When transfer is clicked, only the applicable sites are displayed in the RMS transfer queue. Click Send to apply the settings to those sites. Next, set the card profiles. Cardholders use cards to access one or more doors in the NLSS system. Card profiles determine the basic data structure and other key properties of the access cards used in the system. These technical aspects of the card are type, bit format, and facility code. The fields in the RMS card profiles screen are the same as in the same screen on the local gateway. In RMS, card profile settings are conditional, meaning they can be transferred to all sites simultaneously, or just. Card profiles have the following dependencies. Access levels and card profile settings must be transferred before badge profile settings. Next, select badge profile. Badge profiles complete the generic information required for cardholder badges. Any additional information required to create a badge is unique to each cardholder, and is entered in the cardholder configuration screens. These screens are discussed later in this video. The fields are the same in the RMS and local gateway badge profile screens. The fields cannot be edited at the local gateway level when a gateway is managed by RMS. Badge profiles are conditional in RMS, meaning the settings can be applied to all or selected sites. Badge profiles have the following dependencies. The badge profile settings must be transferred before cardholders' credential settings can be transferred. Access levels and card profile settings must be transferred before badge profile settings can be transferred. When selecting sites to transfer the badge profile settings, be sure that the initial settings have already been transferred. Next, click Cardholder, User Defined. Using the Cardholder User Defined screen, custom fields for cardholders can be created and transferred to all sites managed by RMS. The RMS and the local gateway cardholder User Defined screens contain the same blank fields. The settings in this screen are unconditional, and can only be applied to all sites. These fields are displayed in the User Defined tab of the Cardholder screen. Cardholder User Defined has only one dependency. If any fields are created in the Cardholder User Defined screen, then those settings must be transferred before transferring the cardholder settings. Click Cardholders to go to that screen. Cardholder settings provide the fields needed to set up access and details for individuals with access badges. Cardholders are created at the RMS level and transferred to selected sites. Since cardholders is a conditional setting, there is also the option to transfer a cardholder record to all sites. The fields and tabs are the same as configured at the local gateway level. When a gateway is managed by RMS, cardholder records cannot be added, edited, or deleted at the local level. Note that when transfer is clicked, the settings from all cardholder tabs are sent to the RMS transfer queue, not just the currently selected tab. Cardholder settings have a series of dependencies that must be met before a record can be transferred. The badge profile settings must be transferred before cardholders' credential settings can be transferred. Access level settings must be transferred before cardholder access level settings are configured and transferred. Cardholders user-defined settings must be transferred before the cardholder's settings. This step is only required if any fields have been created or modified in the cardholder's user-defined screen. After identity settings are transferred, the permissions can be configured and transferred. In RMS, the same three permission options are available as at the local gateway level. The functionality is generally the same. Differences are described in the following screens. Groups only apply to the RMS level. Groups for the gateways are created at the gateway level. A user and role created at the RMS level must be pushed down to the local gateways if that user is allowed to access those gateways. First, click on Groups. RMS groups allow gateways and multi-views to be combined in a collection. Multi-view collects views from cameras at the sites managed by RMS. Creating multi-views is discussed in the RMS operations video, and in the user manual. Multi-view and gateway groupings are available only at the RMS level, and cannot be transferred to the site level. Groups created at the site level only apply to that gateway, and are not uploaded to RMS. RMS groups can restrict access to specific gateways or sites, and restrict specific video from specific sites. The RMS groups screen operates the same as the gateway groups screen. To enable group restrictions, general access to sites and multi-view must be removed using roles at the RMS level. Roles at the RMS level are discussed later in this video. More details about roles are available in the roles video for gateway configuration, and in the user manual. Roles define the capabilities of the users operating the NLSS gateway. The roles screen provides capabilities to manage roles for the sites managed by RMS. RMS roles settings are conditional, meaning they can be transferred just to selected sites, or transferred simultaneously to all sites. Roles must be transferred before users, as the user record is dependent on the applied role setting. The RMS roles screen functions the same as the roles screen on the local gateway, but with some different tabs. The Gateway Groups tab is replaced with Rms Groups, and an Rms Modules tab is added. The other gateway tabs and the General tab are the same as at the gateway level. Roles can be cloned, edited, searched and deleted at the RMS level. Once a gateway is connected to RMS, only the Gateway Groups tab can be edited at the local gateway. RMS modules are the top-level options selected from the RMS main menu. The view, edit, add, and delete permissions for a module are set by the role from which the selected role was cloned. Permissions cannot be added for modules or options to which the parent role did not have access. Also, not all menu options have add and delete capabilities. The default roles of super, admin, and operator cannot be edited or transferred. However, those roles can be cloned, and those clones can be transferred to selected sites. The master role supersedes all roles in RMS. It cannot be edited, cloned or transferred. The operations and configuration modules can be expanded to set permissions for the menu options under these modules. Deselect a checkbox to disable the permissions for the selected role to use these RMS operations options. These settings do not impact the operations module at the gateway level. The RMS configuration options expand one more level to reveal the specific configuration options. Next, select the RMS Groups tab. RMS Groups lists all groups created at the RMS level. RMS Group view and edit permissions for the selected role are set in this tab. The groups and settings for the selected role can be printed or sent to a PDF. The RMS Groups tab does not impact the groups set at the gateway level. Those groups must still be configured and managed at the gateway or site level. Next, the gateway permissions are set for the selected RMS role. Gateway modules are the options selected from the site-level main menu. This tab sets the selected role's permissions for operating at the gateway level. Just as with the RMS modules, the operations and configuration settings can be expanded to show edit, add, and delete checkboxes, where applicable. Events has no additional options. The final step in configuring roles is to set gateway functions. The Gateway Functions tab sets permissions for the functions under the menu options for cameras, doors, cardholders, decoders, and users in the site-level operations module. Only the view permission is set in this tab. This permission allows the selected role to use these functions, as long as they have at least view permissions under the associated operations option in the Gateway Modules tab. For example, if cameras are not selected under operations in the Gateway modules, then none of the camera functions will be available in the operations module at the site level. A list of selected gateway functions for this role can be printed or sent to a PDF file. After an RMS role is configured, it can be transferred to selected gateways. RMS roles do have some dependencies. If a role is cloned from another cloned role, that parent role must be transferred before its cloned roles can be transferred. A role assigned to a user must be transferred before that user's record is transferred. Role settings are conditional, and can be transferred to selected gateways, as long as the role is allowed to see that gateway, according to the Rms Group setting. The roles included by default cannot be transferred. By default, master is propagated to the gateways that are connected to RMS. Superuser, administrator, and operator are already on the gateway. Next, apply the RMS roles to the users. Users are the people monitoring, and administering, and maintaining the security system through the NLSS web interface. The fields are the same as at the site level, with name, user ID, password and user type or role. Users can be added, deleted, edited and searched in RMS. At the site level, user records can only be viewed and searched. Since user settings are conditional, records can be transferred to selected sites, or all sites simultaneously. When a gateway is first added to RMS, the user records and roles are uploaded to RMS. Roles must be defined before users, as the role sets the permissions for the user. Once a gateway is part of RMS, roles must be defined and transferred to the appropriate sites, before a user record can be transferred with that role. This concludes the RMS configuration. For more detailed instructions, please refer to the NLSS Security Suite User Manual. Please return to the RMS playlist to continue to the RMS operations video.